of Suburbia, and I am just setting up one other piece here to get this going. That. Apparently this does not want to do a live stream today. Okay, that will not happen this afternoon, so I'm going to go right into it. Today we are working on the foundation portion of growing up in the wilds of Suburbia and the maturity program for spirituality. So with that being said, we're going to get right into this. So today is going to be spirituality's maturity. Now, spirituality has a lot of elements. With those different elements, like we all know what types of religions and things like that are. But for what we currently are dealing with, we deal with more like, okay, well, I'm Christian or I'm whatever religion. I want to steer away from that and go more towards the potential early beginnings of religious beliefs. And now I'm not giving a religious position for anything. I actually separate spirituality for religion whenever it comes to any kind of like training, development, learning, those kind of things. I really rather get to the point where we just talk about something that's more the boiled down concepts of it. Purpose and legacy. Now, for me, when you're dealing with purpose and legacy, you want to find what makes you feel like you have purpose. What is purpose overall is like something that you are well equipped to accomplish, something that you feel like you're kind of guided towards that thing, but you have a huge contribution for that thing. And that'll help us generate concepts or like what a purpose is. Now, a legacy, on the other hand, now a purpose is the forward motion, something that's in front of you or that you're working towards. Now, legacy would be the back end of it. What did you leave behind? And your legacy is your story, is your life experience, is what you accomplished in your life worth sharing from another person? Like, will they share your life story with someone else? That could also be what kind of impact it's made, if there's foundations, whatever it is. Genghis Khan has a legacy. Gandhi has a legacy. Jesus has a legacy. Socrates has a legacy. Those are the major pieces, but purpose was in front of it. Now, some of those things may have just manifested because of who they were, and because of who they were, they lived in that sense of I'm going to accomplish something, or I am accomplishing something, or something has been accomplished because I'm present. So there's different variations of it. So if we really want to be able to distinguish what a purpose is for us, we're going to want to start digging into what has us feel like we're doing something that feels right to us. And when for me, this is more of a sense of purpose for me, because I feel like I'm making a bigger difference, because I'm not just sitting back and playing the game of critic. I'm actually going out to try to help give different insights, to give direction of some sort. I don't necessarily have the direction that you need, but the insights might unlock something for you because now you're thinking in different corridors of the mind, or you're using different concepts that you hadn't previously used, or you hadn't used to the depth that the new thought has now given you privilege to. That is what I feel is a sense of purpose. And the legacy is the people that actually find value and benefit in it and do like it enough that they talk about it, they share about it, they bring it back to me and tell me how much of an impact it's made. Things like that are the sense of legacy. Now, I don't do it solely for the sense of purpose, and I don't do it solely for the sense of legacy. Those are more of the descriptions of what it is that I'm up to, and then what's the result of what I'm up to. Now, spirituality for me is are those things. That's it. It's I don't get into the righteousness of religious beliefs or hard spirituality. I get into what are we going to do with the life that we have, and what have we done? And that for me is more the spirituality, because overall, as you start to really get some clarity about that, you start to link in with other people. And before you know it, it's your life makes such a difference for other people. And you've made a meaning in the life that you have, which is also, again, part of the definition of purpose, is a meaning for something. Oh, people that don't have a sense of purpose typically are more anxious, or they have more anxiety drives. Again, now this is coming from my education. It's also coming from what I'm producing. But I do have a very, very heavy degree of interest in reading scientific literature about studies that have been produced and conducted that give us a better understanding of what's going on with these different subjects that they're putting out. So the subjects on anxiety drivers, what are things that increase anxiety? Well, there are different factors that increase anxiety, but if you don't have a sense of direction about something or where you're going, or even have a desire to go somewhere, you can become anxious and or depressed. Those are variables that can come out of not having a sense of purpose. Now, as I've said in many videos, and I'll reiterate now because of touching on mental health topics, I am not a licensed mental health counselor. I have a lot of interest, but at the same time, I've studied a lot of different subjects and continue to, and I just love learning. So when it comes to this, don't take all of my word for everything as if it's the ingrained truth of everything or an absolute truth. By all means, use these conversations as a way of just opening your mind up to other opportunities and other ways of thinking. I'm also somebody that I don't mentally kill off the people that I would perceive to be enemies, right? The whole quote unquote concept of enemy. There's so much that you can learn from that individual. Your ability to cohabitate or exist within a distance of one another, how I conduct myself whenever I feel that there's been a statement that might come across as more of an aggressive statement, things like that. That all comes out of my ability to deal with that, is that I'm looking to create more value for everyone. I want to create a deeper meaning of life in a way that people are not so stuck on things. These are all what I consider to be what my spirituality is. I don't have an ishram that I go to. I don't have a church, things like that. That's not my preferred means of practicing spirituality. This is actually more of my means of practicing it. I want a difference to be made in a way that's conducive for all people involved, where not one person gets ahead by taking advantage of others. That would be more of a spiritual position for me, because I do have a bit of an affinity for the cohabitating and coexisting type of religious beliefs. Now, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, I have to safeguard my resources enough that I'm not left completely decimated whenever somebody else's interests don't align with mine and they may have more malintent, something like that. I was recently dealing with a pretty significant degree of anxiety, as well as, we could say, depressed thinking. And I realized as I was dealing with those things, it had even got to the point of the intruder concept of suicidal thoughts. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't out to commit suicide or anything like that. What I mean by the intruder position is I felt that my mind had something come in because of, it didn't seem like it was a thought that I gave birth to, that it was my thought. It seemed like it was something that was more external. And it was the sense of lurking in the background, of not feeling like I had a strong sense of purpose and that I'm not really making much of a difference with what I was doing. And it was a pretty, fairly dark time for me. For me, I've got a pretty sunny disposition overall. I'm a pretty upbeat kind of person. I enjoy life, and I usually walk around with a smile on my face. And it's not a feigned smile. It's not forced in any way. I very much so love life. But when those thoughts came in, I realized what it was connected to for me was that I didn't feel like I had purpose. I didn't feel like I had value. I didn't feel like I was offering anything to anyone. So I sat on it for a bit. I actually opened up to a few close friends and shared with them that I was experiencing something like that. And as soon as I shared it, it's almost as if something separated from me. Like that the dark cloud started to just come off of me and leave me, because I realized that I was starting to to get a grasp on my purpose again, my sense of purpose, my sense of value, and that caused me to feel a lot more satisfied with who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing. I love the process. I love the journey. I don't want to miss a single milestone because I'm attached to the outcome. I want to go through it all. Oh, if this gives any kind of insight for me about who I am as a person, I was speaking with a friend of mine, and I've actually spoken on the subject several times with multiple friends. I'm not trying to win the lottery. I'm actually not even really that interested in winning the lottery. If I happen to find a ticket that I can't find the owner for, and it's a lottery winning ticket with big money, I wouldn't want to. I mean, obviously there would be a lot of good that I could do with the money, but at the same time, I don't want to miss any steps necessary to make that kind or earn that kind of money in my life. I want to have the skills necessary to achieve those results. I like getting my hands dirty. I like getting involved in things. Oh, I'm quick to grab the shovel to dig the hole. I'm quick to build the fence. I go out and research as much as I can to try to learn more so that I can be better at things. Because it's a huge sense of satisfaction to learn in a way that I can execute upon that information and produce a result. And then obviously go into places that I haven't had any guidance in, and being able to overcome challenges but learn from the mistakes. I've failed forward so many times in my life. As I mentioned in a previous video, I just closed my third business. Now, and I'm 40 years old. I've closed 3 businesses in my life with different careers for other people that I've worked in, like working for other companies. And it's been a very interesting experience for me. I don't want to lose any of it because it seems to give me a great deal of value. Now, I come from that. I don't want things to be given to me. I want to earn those things. Because if it's all taken away one day, I'm able to do it again. And I can do it again. But not only am I able to do it again, I can give it away. I can teach people the tools to be successful and the method that I've used. I could offer guidance when something comes up. Oh, I could give some sort of counsel to people in a way that would be, like, we could talk about things. I don't mean counsel in the sense of the mental health direction. I mean in the sense of we can sit and talk. I can look in from different perspectives and say, have you considered this? Or lead that person into a way of thinking that they have more opportunities and just the ability is not beyond them. So with that, it's easier to create a sense of it's easier to create a legacy when you care for other people in the process. But your purpose doesn't always seem to show you that. And if you want to accomplish something in your life, other people will be part of it. For every single action that you take moving forward, consider that person you just interacted with at the gas station, that you might have left feeling, you might have had a confrontation with them, or the grocery store, or the gym, or wherever you are, that person may have had the key to taking you to the next step, to making progress. Even if they were the aggressor, your inability to get past the aggressor and not take it as a victim is part of it. Very well may be the key that's missing. If you're emotionally reactive to something when somebody does something, that's where your work is. If you hear somebody say something and instantaneously you're in this different mind frame because the emotions have now got you there, you're manipulated, but you may have been manipulated. You've been manipulated by, the language, and then your emotions took you there. But also, you may be involved in a fight that's not even your fight. Somebody else just made you think that because you heard something specific, your reaction should be this outcome. That's programming or brainwashing, depending on which way you want to go about it. But you've been programmed to respond in a hostile way. But you may have just pushed that person away from your success. and therefore you pushed yourself away from that success. I'm not saying open yourself up to any situations where you might actually be, not necessarily in the safest situation, but of the years that I've done martial arts, I've resorted to violence 0 times since I've taken quite a bit of different martial arts. I haven't had to, because I'd rather understand the situation and just go from there. Because if I get into an altercation with somebody and I physically overcome them, I might have just changed that person's trajectory in a way that, getting their butt kicked may not have given them the outcome that I wanted. Maybe in the moment it would have felt good or felt justified, but that person may now carry a prejudice or some sort of stereotype about me, or by the way I look, or the way that I talk, or the way that I behave. And now that they're going to try to stay away from people like me or become more aggressive towards people like me. It's not as a controllable outcome as it is to say, can you talk to me for a second? Help me understand why you have such a position of upset. Let me be honest about this right now and tell you I'm feeling pretty upset too, but I don't want that to be the way that I see you. And I don't want that to be the way you see me. I would rather that maybe we stand here for a second and we understand. Maybe we don't agree on things, or you're dealing with something in your life right now. I was dealing with something in my mind or in my life. And now I'm sitting here with this. We were ready to go to war, but maybe we don't have to. Maybe your life lessons have something in it that I can grow from, so that I can get to my goals, but also I might be able to get you to get to your goals. Because we don't need to cannibalize each other in the social sense, not the physical sense. Hopefully not, but unfortunately some things have been a little crazy here in the last 2 decades. But perhaps we don't have to cannibalize each other in order to achieve the goals that we have. Because if you do, your legacy is going to be something that other people may not want to share other than an infamy. And if that's what you want is infamy, you probably resorted to that because fame seemed too hard. To become famous was too hard. Infamous is the easier path, because all you have to do is just do something bad. There's plenty of YouTube channels and videos and plenty of people out there just telling you you're right to be angry. And being angry is a normal thing in life. It's a part of the human element. But what does it do with you? Do you let anger take you, or do you recognize you're angry and try to get to where it came from in the first place? These are all those elements from spirituality. For me, again, spirituality, purpose, and legacy. I want this life to be what you want it to be, but I don't want it to be that way because you needed to step on so many other people to get there. I'm not that person. And I would hope that you can see that there's another way of doing it as well. You very well may not be that person that is that way, but at the same time, you may know people that are. You've witnessed it. So we can move away from the violent stage, understand that it is a real place for us, but we don't have to resort to it, because a lot of times that is because of some unmet need, some conversation that was never completed, a very polarized situation that you never got rectified. You can do it right now in your life. You can rectify whatever events that are stopping you from making success. This hostility movement that we've been dealing with a lot of popularity in our medias, with the music and the behaviors that we see that are becoming more glorified, there will be a time whenever that's no longer a viable direction, or it goes out of style. Do you want to be the one that breaks away from that, and now you're more geared towards making something more sustainable and safer for you and your family? Or do you want to continue to play in a world that has the hostility that can escalate to significant violence, to the point that innocent people are hurt or killed, and or yourself, or you lose your freedom because of something? So with that, the foundation portion of this the foundation series for spirituality is let's get some clarity. Get your paperwork out, write on it what you consider your purpose to be, and looking back at your life, look for a common theme that people are willing to share about you to other people. Look for the common theme, because that common theme is going to be you in a sense of legacy. Let's not wait till we're, fantasizing about our funeral in a way that we wonder what everybody's going to say about us when we're gone. Be responsible for it now so that we can make these changes. Make the changes today that's going to create the life you want tomorrow. Don't wait for it. Don't wait for the lottery. If you play it, you play it. You're hedging bets. The last thing you want to do is play it and then just sit back going, when I get all the money, and that's the only actions you have, then don't be surprised if you never win and you also don't do a whole lot with your life. Take the journey with me. Go through these series, these videos. There's 8 of them for the foundation series for maturity. Go through them, write them down. Write down each one of them that resonates to you. And let's create something together. And, you can plant the seed today. It may not make a lot of sense, but in a month, it could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be a month, could be half a year, a full year. I mean, you never know when it's going to take root, or what it does is it may turn into something else. You're like, I didn't plant an apple tree, but you got, you got corn. Yeah, it's like, you just don't know necessarily. You may not have realized what you planted. And with that, guys, gals, and my spiritual bunch here, I appreciate all of your time with me. I appreciate the time that you spend watching these videos and your feedback. Please like the videos, share them, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know whenever these things are going live. You can always jump in the chats and play around with me a bit. Also, suggest these to your friends that you feel might actually benefit from it. Leave a comment for me. Engage with me a little bit. I do appreciate that and enjoy it. And with that, I look forward to our next video. Again, this has been the maturity series. This is the number 8 of the maturity series, or the 8 portion. Again, these are also not chronological. They're not sequential. You can start at any one of these. You don't need to start at one in particular. You don't have to go from 1 and work your way up to 8. Whatever is most important to you right now, or what resonates the most, is where you really can put some work in. And from there, we can continue to grow out from that. All right, write it down, because when you write it down, it does do something for you. All right, that's it in closing. Thank you so much for your time. This is Chad Everett Brochures. I am the host of Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. I greatly appreciate everything that you've done so far as what you've worked on yourself, and I look forward to our next one. So with that, enjoy the remainder of your day. Remember, be powerful, critical thinking, and we're in this together. We can all grow together. It doesn't matter ideologies. It doesn't matter political divides. It doesn't matter race, gender, your preferences of any type. None of it matters to me as much as it is that we just do this together. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.